Speaker, thank you very much. I just want to indicate that I'll be taking the split minutes, so to be 10 minutes. I'll be speaking at once. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. As the economic freedom fighters, we sit here today completely vindicated by the fact that despite our countless warnings to this administration, the marriage that entered into by the DA and the ANC at the altar compromise is collapsing to the detriment of the functionality of this province. The people of Gauteng will not be fooled. It is not the presence of the DA that has brought us here. Neither it is because the sponsors of this motion of no confidence have the best interests of the residents of Gauteng at heart. It is simply because the unholy alliance of liberal opportunism between the DA and the ANC is crumbling apart. But, Madam Speaker, we must ask ourselves, why is the unholy alliance failing apart? It is because in the face of grave challenges at almost every level of existence in Gauteng, the ANC has continued to lull the masses of our people with quick fix solutions and sustainable programs and economic policies that both intangible and are always titled towards private capital and more than immediate needs of our people. This is the same administration that has for the mass bragged about the success of an abstract investment agenda. It is the same administration that has went onto the screens of our people to report on the state of readiness of the G20 summit that the people of Gauteng neither asked for nor need. Yes, Madam Speaker, we confidently believe that the so-called investment strategy of this administration does not more to take members of the executive look good and busy, whereas the experience on the ground is that of all unchanging socio-economic realities. If one was indeed to ask what the Premier has done in the last 315 days of this year, we are mostly likely to be met with the self-seized Twitter posts rather than tangible indicators of the growth and progress. In the last 2 financial years, this province has recorded a growth of less than 0.8. Unemployment has increased at almost twofold, and the most sustainable strategy for jobs has been rebranded EPWP that has fallen flatly in the face of the Premier. Gauteng province has since the time of Panyaza Lesufi administration failed to robustly reindustrialize its state of magnitude of job has been lost since the Premier have assumed the offices. In the very few special economic zones that have been established, the appreciation is given to ability of municipality to collect higher rates and taxes as opposed to actual job creation. We will never stop highlighting that the desperate attempt to create jobs through the Gauteng crime prevention wardens, who later became Gauteng traffic wardens, was merely a pathetic smoke screen. The youth of this province remain highly unskilled because there exist no programs to equip them with the actual skills that market-related and carry industrial-related value. To this date, this province has not shifted any closer towards energy independence, as we are confidently promised by the Premier in several states of the province address. Even in the township of Amarasta, a solar microgrid model in Alexander that has been held by the Premier as a flagship project now has become all but obsolete due to inadequate planning focus. In fact, Madam Speaker, Amarasta will remain the go-to project of the reference for Premier in as far as energy reliability and independence is concerned, because the PR nature of the administration has always been to amplify one small project as loud as possible to give impression of progress. Madam Speaker, as the economic freedom fighters, we are not interested in the perception of progress. As economic freedom fighters, we understand the real and tangible progress what our people need. In as far as promises of rapid land release programs go, it is clearly land that the Premier carries around in his pocket that has been released, because to date, 200 million Gauteng residents remain trapped in housing backlog. No noticeable changes occurred in the housing backlog, yet we are told that the rapid land release program is in place. It is both shameful and worrisome that in a space of 2 months, shopping malls complexes springs up all across the provinces, but over 20 years, this government cannot properly allocate land for a very dissolute and dispossessed masses of our people. Meanwhile, communities like Rivali Kagiso, Pinyon, Westbury and Pegastal has become a combat zone where criminal syndicates rule with impunity. Community policing forums are attacked, police stations have no vehicles, no personnel, no equipment, dockets pile up to tombstones. Madam Speaker, as we close, we must also stress we will not allow the legislature to be used as a platform for DA to perform bitter trading and exchange of patronage between them and their genuine partners. This very same DA that today wants to transform the legislature into a liberal background could have easily summoned the ANC to Nkululeko House, not waste our time and energy of our people in this province. The people of Gauteng must also know that not only is this indigenous of the DA to call for this motion, it's also a logical contradiction. Because the very same DA that wishes to call out the ANC today has successfully run the city of Tshwane into the ground. After governing there 8 years, it is the same DA that in the city of Ikroni Ashat, in a very questionable manner, the entrance of a syndicate related to cronies like Headmatter. It is the same DA that disinverted in the water infrastructure of the city of Johannesburg, contributing to the current water crisis that is faced today. As such, there is no DA that can behave and present itself as an arbiter of moral and political correctness. In conclusion, it must be said that economic freedom fighters remains only solution to the needs of the people of Gauteng. We firmly reiterate that three most important interventions that must take place without fail in order to save this province remain. Firstly, the prioritization of the sustainable job creation through mass reindustrialization. Secondly, a radical targeted land redistribution housing program. Thirdly, the urgent establishment of new electricity generating capacity through the introduction and strengthening of the state-owned electricity infrastructure and value chains reflected in the manifesto of the economic freedom fighters. Madam Speaker, there is no motion sponsored by Stellenbosch, concocted by Donald Trump that will find expression. We want our land and jobs now.
Thank you very much, Honorable Koma. Honorable Kani.